You have no idea how many women walk this earth unaware of just how magnetic they really are. And I'm not talking about makeup, curves, or high heels. I'm talking about something much deeper, an unseen force that lingers in the air long after you've walked away. It's in the way you carry yourself, the way your eyes take in the world, the quiet confidence in your stride, and the effortless grace you don't even know you're radiating. It's powerful. And what's tragic is how often it goes unnoticed by you. So many of you shrink yourselves because you think you don't match some fabricated version of beauty sold by magazines or mirrored on screens. But what actually draws people in, what stops us in our tracks, isn't found in a perfect outfit or flawless skin. It's that authenticity, that energy that speaks before your mouth does. When you walk into a room, people feel it, even if they can't name it. And believe me, men notice. We pretend not to. We try to act unfazed, but inside, something stirs. The signs are always there. You just haven't been looking for them. Like how a man suddenly becomes awkward in your presence. You might misread it, think he's uninterested. But the truth? He's disarmed. His cool slips away, not because he lacks confidence, but because your energy disrupts the rhythm he's used to. He fumbles, adjusts his clothes, talks too much or too little. His thoughts scramble because he's trying so hard not to mess it up. That's not indifference. That's the impact of being in the orbit of a woman who unknowingly commands attention. And then there's the way people glance at you, not once, but twice. That second look? Well, that's the one that gives it away. It's not about vanity, it's about the impression you leave behind, the kind that echoes after you've passed. It's how strangers pause to watch you walk away, trying to understand what just pulled them in. It's not your outfit. It's not your hairstyle. It's the quiet force that surrounds you, the kind you can't fake and others can't forget. And what about those compliments you brush off? The ones you hear in the days you feel the least put together? There's something about you, they say. They can't explain it, but they feel it. That's no accident. You see flaws in the mirror while others see fire in your eyes. You think it's nothing special, but your naturalness is what makes it unforgettable. The laugh that isn't rehearsed. The way you speak when you're passionate. The comfort you exude just by being at ease in your own skin. That's what gets remembered. The irony? The less you try, the more magnetic you become. That contradiction of not knowing your own power while still radiating it is exactly what makes you unforgettable. And you don't have to push or prove or perform, you just have to be. And then there's this men searching for excuses just to talk to you. It's not about the question they ask or the favor they need. It's about the fact that they needed to find some reason to stand close, to hear your voice, to catch a moment of your attention. You think it's random? It's not. All right? When a man is drawn to a woman but doesn't know how to bridge the gap, he'll invent 1,000 reasons to orbit closer. That's not coincidence. That's gravity. So no, you may not always recognize it. You might doubt yourself, diminish your light, or compare yourself to illusions. But the truth is, you have a presence that lingers, that affects, that shifts the air when you enter a room. And once someone feels that, and they never forget it, and maybe, just maybe, it's time you started seeing yourself the way the world already does. Now, on the surface, it might seem casual. If it, a harmless question, a small favor, a bit of random conversation. But it rarely is. When a man feels drawn to a woman, especially one who stirs something deeper in him, he often masks that attraction behind the most mundane interactions. He won't shower her with compliments right away, won't admit what's really pulling him in. Instead, he'll find reasons, any reason, to be near her. A simple, "Do you know how this works?" or "Can you help me with this?" becomes a bridge, not to solve the actual problem, but to build a moment, a connection, a presence. And if it happens more than once, if that man keeps coming back into your orbit with small needs and light excuses, it's not coincidence. It's intention. It's not about what he's asking. It's about what he's feeling and doesn't know how to express. You might not notice at first. It might feel charming, even flattering. But when the same face appears again and again with just enough reason to be close, look deeper. Watch for that nervous smile, that flicker in the voice, the way his eyes linger a bit too long. Because sometimes a man isn't saying, "Can you help me?" He's silently whispering, "I just want to be near you." And then there's the tension no one talks about. Not every reaction to your energy will be kind. There are moments when you walk into a room, say nothing, do nothing special, and yet the air changes. Some women might glance your way with expressions you can't quite read. Comments come laced with sarcasm, compliments veiled in criticism. It's not because you've done something wrong. Often you're not even trying to stand out. You're just being. But that in itself can trigger something in others. Not all attention is admiration. Sometimes your presence reflects back insecurities they don't want to see. You've probably been there, accused of arrogance when you were simply quiet, caught in competition you never entered. That kind of criticism says more about them than about you. It's not about your words or actions. It's about your presence, your light, the way you carry yourself without trying. Some will love it and be inspired by it. Others, unsure of themselves, might try to dim it. But when you notice that resistance, that discomfort in others without cause, take it as a sign, a reflection of your strength, your magnetism, your quiet confidence that can't be ignored. And then there's that other kind of moment. You're out in the world, running errands, walking to work, lost in your own thoughts. And a stranger, often a man, catches your eye and smiles. Not in a way that demands anything, not looking for conversation. Just a smile. Software quiet. Sometimes shy, sometimes bold. And without words, it says something simple. There's something about you. That kind of smile isn't about your clothes or your makeup. It's about what you radiate without realizing. Something unspoken that draws people in. It's energy. A silent pulse that moves through the air and settles into the people around you. That smile you get out of nowhere? It's real, it's honest, it's the world responding to you, not because you're trying, but because you just are. And that's powerful, but not every gaze comes so gently. There are moments that catch you off guard. You notice someone looking longer than they should. Someone who wears a ring who isn't supposed to look that way. It's not your fault. You're not doing anything to provoke it. And yet, there it is, that pause, that flicker, that glance that lasts too long and says too much. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's also revealing. Because what draws people to you isn't just about appearances. It's about something deeper. Your essence, your energy, the invisible thread that people feel even when they can't explain it. It doesn't mean you should feel ashamed or guilty. On the contrary, it means your presence is powerful enough to cut through what should be boundaries. That doesn't make it right, but it makes it real. It speaks volumes about the kind of light you carry, the kind that reaches people even when they wish it wouldn't, even when they're not supposed to look. And then there's the world behind the screen where you share a photo, a moment, something small. You're not trying to impress, no filters, no angles, just you. And suddenly the responses come rushing in. Messages, likes, comments, attention you didn't ask for. And you wonder, well, why this photo? Why now? But it's never about the photo. It's about you. The way you inhabit space, even digital space, without trying. The way your presence echoes through everything you touch. What they see in a simple picture is more than pixels. It's the quiet confidence, the warmth in your eyes, the calm in your expression, the realness. And without knowing why, people are drawn to it, drawn to you. That kind of attention isn't bought or posed. It's felt. It's rare. It's real. And maybe, just maybe, you haven't even fully noticed your own effect on the world yet, but it's there. And people feel it, long before you ever speak a word. When a woman carries true allure, she doesn't need to showcase it. It simply radiates. There's something about her that can't be staged or filtered. It's in her presence, in the way her eyes hold a moment longer, and how she moves with ease, not needing to impress. That kind of energy lingers. Even through a screen, it pulses, and men feel it. Sometimes it catches them off guard. Some are drawn to it instantly. Others are quietly shaken by it, unsure how to respond to something so powerful, yet so understated. The fascinating part is, most women who possess it aren't even aware. They believe they need to do more. Add polish, project a certain image, curate a version of themselves that fits the mold. But the truth is, their real strength lies in the moments they're most unfiltered. Wearing a simple tee, hair tied up, lost in thought, those are the moments when something magnetic slips through, raw and undeniable. You might not even understand why strangers glance at you longer than expected, or why someone suddenly wants to be near you, but that unintentional pull is proof. You're exuding more than you realize. And one of the clearest signs of this quiet power is how men react around you. There's a pattern that repeats, confusing and often misread. A man shows real interest. He listens intently, compliments you, even seeks you out. Then almost out of nowhere, he vanishes. Silence. Distance. And just when you've written him off, he reappears like nothing ever happened. It's maddening. You question his motives, wondering if he's playing some tired game. But often, it's not a game. It's hesitation. It's him wrestling with what he feels because the attraction he's experiencing is unfamiliar, maybe even overwhelming. Not because he's not interested, but because he's too interested. The pull is intense, and he doesn't know how to steady himself within it. Men like this aren't always emotionally immature. Sometimes they just don't feel adequate in the face of a woman who feels so complete. So they retreat, not to hurt you, but to protect their own fragile sense of self. And when they return, it's because they've sort of mustered the courage to face what they couldn't before. In either case, what they're responding to isn't your looks or charm. It's something deeper, something that disorients and captivates at once. And that's what makes it all so real. But here's something you may never have been told. The most magnetic women often doubt their power the most. They overanalyze, compare themselves, look for flaws, unaware that the very things they consider unremarkable are what make them unforgettable. A woman can walk into a room without saying a word and shift the entire atmosphere, not because she tried, but because her authenticity speaks louder than any script. She doesn't need to raise her voice or dominate the space. Just being who she is becomes enough. And yet, if she doesn't recognize that, her light stays dimmed, present but veiled. The moment she begins to see herself clearly, not out of pride, but with calm self-acceptance, everything aligns. Her walk changes. Her tone softens but carries more weight. Her silence becomes filled with presence. People notice even if they don't know what they're noticing. Because energy doesn't ask for permission. It just moves. And when a woman owns hers, she no longer waits for someone else to validate it. That's when the transformation truly begins. There are some women whose absence speaks louder than their presence. When they leave a space, something quiet but significant goes missing. The energy dips. The air feels less warm. Conversations lose their spark. No one might say it aloud, but they feel it. You might be one of those women, the kind that leaves people looking at the door long after you've walked through it. It's not about drama or attention. It's about the emotional ripple you leave behind, the way your energy made people feel more at ease, more alive, more seen. And when that vanishes, the void is real. That's a rare kind of influence. And most of the time, you don't even notice you're doing it. Have you ever caught someone watching you walk away, or received a message saying you left when you didn't think your leaving mattered? Those are the subtle signs that your presence isn't just seen, it's felt, remembered, even missed, and there's nothing calculated about it. It's just you, fully yourself. And that's what people gravitate toward, even if they can't explain why. There's something else. When a woman holds that kind of presence, silence with her stops being awkward. It becomes profound. Men feel it, maybe more than they admit. There's no pressure to fill every second with conversation. Her presence is enough. And in those quiet spaces, something powerful happens. The connection deepens. He doesn't fidget or look at his phone. He stays. He watches. Not because he's bored, but because he's captivated. He might not know what to say, because what he's feeling is wordless. He wonders how someone can make him feel so steady and stirred at the same time. And that's not about appearance. It's about energy. You don't need to impress anyone when your energy already speaks. When your silence comforts instead of confuses, when your gaze holds more truth than 100 compliments, that's when you know. You're already standing in something rare, something strong, and you didn't have to try. So if any of this feels familiar, if you've seen glimpses of these moments in your life without knowing what they meant, maybe now you do. Maybe it's time to stop questioning if you're enough. Maybe it's time to realize you already are.